Alright, so I'm back with something I wasn't really expecting to do, which is a guide on how to kill Badassasaurus rex. Badassasaurus rex is a right pain in the ass to kill, and I figured it was about time I sat down and actually figured out how to kill him. So this video is going to be split up into two segments. The first will be the actual speed kill, and the second half will be the story mission kill, because they're a bit different from each other. So, for this, for the speed kill specifically, you'll want a corrosive lady fist, a bee, and either a hail or the lead storm. Chaotic neutral is a very good class mod to get for this, and of course, bone of the ancients. And to start things off, you will stand close to the gate, but do not enter the gate, and you will aim towards the E of the Torg promotional banner out in the distance and start pre-firing to get your accuracy going. And then as you cross the threshold, that will line you just up to get to the barrels on BRex, and it's very important that you destroy those barrels. And we've entered a bad phase, ideally. BRex, so something to note is BRex has a couple of attacks he can do, and depending on how many barrels you destroy, he loses attacks or functionality of attacks. I'll just explain this in just a second. Cool. So, what just happened here? Yeah, I'm looking at you, dumbass. So, what just happened here? Well, first to break this down, it's very important that you destroy those 3 barrels at the start of the fight, especially his back neck barrel. This is because his neck barrel controls his flame motor attack that launches those flames out from a distance and explodes towards the door. Without that attack, he is forced to either choose between using the nuclear strike option, or he will run up to the gate and start melee stomping the ground to try and attack us. So, at the start of the fight, ideally, when you pop those 3 barrels, he will immediately just run up to the gate and start stomping the ground. After that point, he will either continue stomping the ground or he'll give up and move into this position right here for the nuclear strike. The second he starts moving towards the nuclear strike, it is 100% safe for you to jump across the barricade, run up, and then start blowing up the 2 barrels right here and here. And this part's very important. You need to kill this barrel and then his exhaust barrel. His AI will not break if you do it in the other order, where you destroy this barrel and then this barrel. I honestly cannot tell you why this happens. Just can't. And something else to point out is he needs to be in this position. And this is a reliable setup to always get him in this position. There are at least 3 glitch positions I know about in this arena. There's likely more, but these are the 3 that I've found, and this one is nearly 100% consistent. His other 2 positions is pretty much immediately where he spawns, right over here, where if you were to try and do it as a speed kill, you would have to destroy these 3 barrels and then somehow manage to get way over here to destroy these 2 barrels when he does a nuclear strike, which is really difficult to do and extremely unreliable and extremely RNG dependent, because he will randomly choose to attack things. And the other position is around right here, where, so if he starts to fire a nuclear strike right here, you can try and stand, well, try and get over here to destroy these 2 barrels in that order, where you destroy his shoulder barrel, then his butt barrel, and that should hopefully break his AI like this. But enough explaining about that. If this were continuing to be a speed kill, we would obviously immediately switch over to our lead storm, and then at this point you just shoot at him and pretty easily kill him, because he can't fight back. But he can still deflect bullets, so you do need to watch out for that. and so on and so forth. Next up will be the story mission kill, which is going to be a little different due to how things line up. Okay, so I'm here on the story mission, a long way to the top, and for this kill, this is basically the minimum gear requirements, which is a Pimpernel and a V. These are possibly the worst variants of those. This Pimp has a Hyperion grip and melee prefix, both are really bad. And this B has double bandit parts, which is also the worst it can be. And I'm not going to be using a class mod or relic, and also I'm also not going to be using any skills. This is to make this strategy as accessible as possible. So obviously we can optimize this further with literally any amount of effort. But I'm not going to do that. So, important thing here, as we cross this threshold into the quest marker, we will immediately blow ourselves up and down ourselves and then die. This will do a couple of things for us. First, it will prevent BRex from spawning altogether. As you can eventually see. You can... Okay, we respawned. As you can see, there is no BRex health bar at the top of the screen because he failed to spawn because we left the, I guess, spawn trigger for him. And the other thing this will do is put us at the arena entrance, which allows us to potentially fast-track the speed kill like we did earlier, where we can blow up his 3 barrels immediately. That is pretty much only going to happen if he decides to do the flame motor attack, which is kind of unreliable to rely on. So we'll see which strategy we'll employ this time. This fight's going to go in one of 3 ways. We'll see which one it is. And the other difficult thing is because of this gate, we have to crawl under it, which loses us a lot of time. So let's see what happens. Oh, sweet. He taunted us. Sweet. This was quite fortuitous. Because this just fast-tracks us into the speed kill that we did earlier. So he's trying to get up to us to melee attack us. And he melee attacks. Melee attacks. Eventually he's going to give up and launch a nuke. There we go, the second he starts to move is the second we can run out of cover to get into position. We need to destroy his shoulder barrel, and then his butt barrel, and now his AI should be broken. Yep. And I'll just heal so I don't kill myself like an idiot. And at this point, we can either circle straight around him, like so, to slowly whittle him down with our shitty Pimpernel, or if you want to do it a little more safely, we can always just hop back over our barricade and shoot him like this. And we are at 0 risk of dying. Something to know, if you get behind the barricade and sometime... Yeah, there we go. Oh. Well, yeah. So, depending on where you stand behind the barricade, he might start to move, which might make him move way over here or there. But he still has lost his ability to attack, so it doesn't really matter. So you can just safely just continue to snipe him from back here. Oops. I said safely. You have to at least respect the bullet reflection. But his AI is still broken. So, even if we screw up like that, that's not a big deal. And now I will show off the other strategy, because I wasn't expecting that to work. Alright, so I've reset the fight to show off how this would more typically go, because we got pretty lucky last time with him just immediately exposing his back barrels to us, and us being able to immediately destroy them. So, for this one, we will just let him come to us and get our damage in while we can. And it looks like we got lucky and he's immediately trying to do a melee attack. And we got even luckier because he hasn't even tried to use his flame motor attack. So we'll destroy his exhaust barrel, his neck barrel, and his slide barrel, and then we will immediately retreat back to cover. And one of a couple things might now happen. And the good outcome is he immediately moves away like this. And after you destroy his barrels, his AI becomes really weird and really likes to start spamming various attacks. And, oops.
No last words for the ape!
I thought he was getting into position for that attack. My bad. But no big deal. The damage to the barrels persists between respawns, so now that we've destroyed those 3 barrels, he's still lost those 3 barrels. Something else to point out is when we destroy those 3 barrels over there, he needs to move out of position, because if he launches a second nuke while standing in that position over there, his AI will not break when we destroy his 2 remaining barrels. Yep. Maybe I can figure out how to jump. But now that he's moved out of position and then back into it, we can destroy these 2 barrels, and then his AI will now break, as expected. Yep. And we can now just continue to poke at him until he dies. Sometimes he just refuses to ever come back to this position, and in that scenario you just have to just kill him as you would normally, where you just slowly poke at him, like so. But having destroyed his neck barrel, he starts to just prefer to start spamming his melee stomps, and also his nuclear strikes, which makes it a lot safer and overall easier to just slowly kill him. So with all that covered, I think that about wraps it all up. So, thank you for watching.
Ugh.